TikTok is now being banned in the UK next month as of the 25th of February. I'm not sure how to feel about this, guys, because TikTok in the UK has become a platform where we can speak to people all over the country, all over the world. And I guess people have become, or TikTok has become a family. It unites us all, and it's a very sad day for our Brits. And if TikTok does get banned, guys, I just want to say that it's been a good ride, and I've enjoyed your company and the Gen X trend, and I'm glad that you enjoy watching my videos, and I appreciate every one of you. And I'll see you on the other side, guys.
TikTok is not being banned in the UK as of yet. That TikTok was complete satire. Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Now, before we get started, if you would like to join us all here, then please hit that sub button. I can imagine that today's video will probably get knocked into oblivion by the YouTube algorithm, so please be sure to hit the like rating if you like this video and share it with everyone out there. Let's push past the algorithm and the censorship that is happening on YouTube with topics such as this. I want to be clear, this is not me actually interfering with American politics. I'm just reacting to TikToks and offering a slightly different opinion to the ones that are presented in the TikToks. The ever looming ban was a huge cause for contention in the USA. People were crying and breaking down. Some people didn't know where to go. It was an emotional roller coaster for a lot of people. Then January 19th came and TikTok went dark for the USA, and it was tragic.
And to the US government, I'm never forgiving you for this.
Then the next thing we know is that the USA is back with an extension on TikTok, with the president suggesting a 50-50 ownership with the USA. So we will see what happens there, but that meant Trump was temporarily the good guy. Alas, it didn't last long though, because this is what he said at his inauguration on Inauguration Day. Mr. Trump confirmed the move in his inaugural speech, saying, "As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female." This article from CNN explains it in more detail. The definition of male and female will be based on whether people are born with eggs or sperm rather than on their chromosomes. Under the order, prisons and settings such as shelters for migrants and our victims will be segregated by sex based on this criteria. Officials also said the order would impact federal documents, including passports. Now, I do agree with that. The next part of the article I do question. The order would also block requirements at government facilities and at workplaces that transgender people be referred to using the pronouns that align with their gender. My stance is that there are two biological sexes, male and female, but gender dysphoria is very real and people do whatever it is they need to do. I understand why it would be suggested for government, but the general workplace, I guess, I question it, because here in the UK, we can actually refer to trans people with the sex that they present as, or sorry, the gender they present as, when they have transitioned and now identify as. But we are protected by law in the workplace to say that someone is biologically a man or biologically a woman. You quite commonly see that in the UK, we actually get called GCs, which means gender critical. There's a lady called Maya Forstater here in the UK who lost her job for stating biological facts in the workplace and then won the case when she took it further. The second common sense order targets diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI initiatives and ends their federal funding. As part of this, officials said there will be a monthly meeting of relevant agencies to assess any DEI programs and whether they should be shut down. In this case, this is actually a great idea. There does need to be a reining in of the DEI. The extremes that it was taken to in the last party ended up tanking businesses. Now let's take a look at some trans TikToks and react to those.
So, as we all know, Trump is now President of the United States. And Trump is bringing in laws to only recognize people as their assigned gender at birth. There's a lot of implications about this. So, basic things, right? One, what about people who've transitioned, right? What about trans people? You know, people who transition. You pretty much are outlawing being trans. And what about those trans people who have changed their name and sex legally? What, are you going to reissue them new birth certificates? And, you know, third, right? What about you have literally created a position where there's going to be men going into women's spaces now and women going into men's spaces. This is dangerous as fuck. Like, say you are a trans woman going into a men's bathroom. What's gonna happen? It's not safe. You know, you are literally creating laws to harm trans people, Trump.
What this person actually means is that biological females will have to go back into their original spaces looking like men, and biological men back into their spaces looking like women for using the bathroom. Now, from what I've been able to understand, that's not the case at the moment in the USA. And I would say if it is, and that's going to be an issue for the person in question, then use a single store bathroom instead.
So I never really talk about politics on my page, obviously. I feel like there's just such nuance to everything, and I'm such the type of person where I can always try my best to see things from another perspective. I don't think people understand how much this directly impacts me. I'm so scared. I think of all the young trans kids. I think of all the LGBTQ people. I think of all my friends who are just women. And I know that this is like, it's gonna be fine, but it's so scary to think that there are people who just vote for that because they just don't care. They don't care about racism, they don't care about misogyny, they don't care about transphobia, they don't care about homophobia. Like, how can you not care about that stuff? Like, as a human being, what the fuck is wrong with you? Different than 2016. Like, I had family members. I grew up from a very conservative family. I have very conservative friends, but all of them know this time around it is very different. It's so scary that people in my life can say I love you to my face and then go and vote for something that directly impacts me and directly affects me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to the doctor anymore. There are so many beliefs and there are so many nuances and reasons to support Trump and reasons to be Republican. But at the end of the day, as a human being, if you cannot recognize that this man has incited so much hatred and violence in this country, then you are absolutely f***ing stupid. If you support Trump and you follow me, sorry to break it to you, I'm a brown immigrant tranny. Surprise. Never talk about this type of stuff because I really just don't think it's a cornerstone of my content to talk about my transition and to do all that stuff. My family, who did vote Trump in 2016, has, you know, very much turned around and said, we're still Republican, but we know in good conscience and in our morals and what we believe in and in the Lord's word, this is like not right. Like, it is not right to support someone like this. It's gonna be okay. We're all gonna be okay. I want you to know that I love you. I love all of you.
First of all, there is no such thing as a trans child socially or physically. If they can't, by law, drink, drive, smoke, or anything like that, then they would not be compos mentis enough to make this decision either. This TikTok was made, to be clear, just after Trump had actually won the election. Trump is not actually telling anyone to detransition. From what I can see, from what has been said, he wants to remove the areas where lines have actually been blurred, and he started by saying that there are two genders, male and female. From there, it will go into looking at military, men in women's sports, healthcare, Medicare funding being taken away. Here in the UK, the access to NHS transitioning healthcare takes up to 7 years unless you go private. Hannah Phillips had this to say.
Fear is sweeping across the trans community. In the coming hours, he will sign executive orders defining our community's future. It is designed to erase us, invalidate us of who we truly are.
Now, that's not actually the full TikTok. She goes on to give the trans community a boost, so to speak. I just took this part because I don't believe that this is what's going on here. I don't actually think trans people will be erased. And I think this is to restore some normality and go back to not blurring the lines where biology actually matters. Let me know what you think. Chat about it, don't chat about it. I'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.